everyone, and welcome to This Is Your Money. I'm your host, Alonzo. The show where the average consumer can come and retain information that will earn them a spot at the bargaining table with the businesses, who in turn should be forced to respect the consumer and their dollars that drives commerce. Now you might ask, what's in it for me? Well, what's in it for me is for the average consumer not to be felt like they've been ripped off every time they leave a dealership or a small car lot. This show will help you out. And we're going to dive right in and start dealing with what I like to call a two-part series on purchasing a vehicle. Now, if you take a notice, when you walk into most dealerships or a small car lot, most of there are salesmen there, and their job is to sell and make a commission. Now, you have a lot of them who's very friendly, and I'm gonna say right up front before anybody else say I said it's wrong to be friendly. There's nothing wrong with being friendly, nothing. However, you got to also realize the more friendly they are, the more friendly you are and inattentive, the more chances of you being ripped off, because they feel they already have you. So they already have it down to when you walk through that door and they give you a firm handshake and look you right in your eyes. They're reading you already. So you're going to have to be armed when you walk into that dealership with research and your score, your credit score, and Carfax, and all this different information. So that way when you get ready to negotiate, you're negotiating like a pro and not like someone who they love. That's someone who don't know what they're talking about or have any idea what they're about to get themselves into. You see, when they walk in, they kind of can read most people, whether it's a guy or a girl or a family or a father and daughter. You see, a woman walks in, and the young woman, in her 20s or something, she's looking for a cute little car so she can fix it up and tell her girlfriend, "Oh girl, how cute that car is. That is so cute." Or she want to show, "Well, hey, look, I can roll with the big boys too. Look at the car I got out there." So they already know they already have her. They want to get her a cute little car with good gas mileage or something of that nature. Now, when a guy walks in, they already know, most guys, they want to know, what's the horsepowers? What's the horses in that thing? What cylinder is it? Is it 6 or 8 cylinder? What's the flashiest color you got with a sunroof? Do the seats stretch back? Is this a chick magnet car? How many chicks can I bang having this car right here? So they can show it to their friends. So they can show off. You understand? A father and daughter walk in. That girl is more their friend than he is, because they know that girl, she don't care about the warranties and the monthly payments and all this other stuff. She don't care about that. She just want to get in that car and ride off so she can have herself a car. So it's going to be up to the father for him to go in there and do all the negotiating. So like I said, let's just dive right in. Look at the different options that you have. Now the first option, you can always go to a car auction. We're going to look at the pros and cons of all these different things. You can go to a car auction. Now if you go to a car auction, the pros of a car auction is you cut that middleman right out. Most cars, when they go to an auction, there you can buy them for half or less. Some of them are pretty high mileage cars, but some of those cars are fleet cars from state police or some energy company or water company, and those cars been maintenance and taken care of, so they're just high mileage cars. Someone who might be an insurance salesman. Now you have some cars that might be high mileage that might not be the prettiest, but you can always get a paint job, but you can get it at a great price, because most of these small car outfits, they go out and buy these cars, they fix it up a little bit, and they put it on the car lot and upsell it for almost $2,000 or $3,000 for what they paid for it, or they pass off the cost or whatever they pick to fix that car, they pass it off to you. Now, the cons of a car auction is all of the fees. They have the buyer's fee, the transport fees, the paperwork fees, and all these different things. Then you gotta pay taxes. You gotta pay license plates and all this other, and registration. So you might buy a car for $900, but look to spend at least $300 more on top of that in fees. So always be aware if you have a budget of $2,000, take $300 to $400, $500 out of that, because you're gonna be paying them fees. Always know that when you go to an auction, you are paying fees, okay? Now, the other cons is that you see check engine lights and you don't have any real history of this car. So you want to take someone there who knows what they're doing when they're dealing with cars. Take a mechanic or someone who's real good with cars, so they can listen to the car, and listen up and lift the hood up and look at all the different fluids and stuff. It'll kind of give you a telltale sign. Any musty smells or anything that because you got to be careful. Some of these outfits, they have cars that flooded cars or damaged cars, or cars that have been on the street, side of the street, have been towed away, or cars that have been just beat up, or it's cars that the dealerships say it's just going to be too much money for me to sit down and spend. So what they'll do, they'll set a wholesale, and then they'll take it out they'll send it out to the auction to get whatever they can for it. So always be careful with that. Now you can also buy private. You can buy private individual cars. Now the pros with that is you get a kind of a better price. You can negotiate with those people. You can go and take a look at the car, take it for a ride, have other people look at it, and kind of get a history and see if they have the paperwork to it and all this stuff for maintenance or any repairs they've done to that car and all this good stuff. So buying a private car can be a good experience. Now the cons of private is that you dealing with sometimes scandalous individuals who decide that they're going to try to scam you or not tell you the whole story about that car. So that's a downside of that. Or you might have someone who you can never get with them when it's time for you to go see this car. And, or they're giving you the runaround, or they're being evasive when you ask them questions. So once again, if you're going out for a private car, take someone who knows about cars. You also want to take them out for safety too, because you never know what can happen. Just be careful when you're going out for a private, especially females. Now, the next one would be eBay. eBay is really good too. eBay is really good where you can go in there. They have eBay protection where you buy a certain a $50,000 protection plan where if you buy a car and they find it's a lemon, you can get your money back, and then they go after the individual that sold you that lemon car. So you can bid on it. You can bid up to the highest rating, and you can take a look at the different cars. You go do research on MSN while you're sitting there bid on this car and get kind of a history on this car and what kind of car it is. You can talk back and forth with email with these people and kind of get an idea of who this individual is and what they're actually trying to sell to you. So eBay is a good option too, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And dealerships as well. You sometimes find that you can get really good deals on cars on eBay. Now the downside of eBay is that sometimes you have people who are scammers, who will sit there and bid on cars knowing they have no way in the world of paying for this car. So in turn, what happens is that you have a person who sit there and holding out hope that this person will purchase this car, and they don't. Or they're selling you a car that looks nothing like it when you get there, or it's all kind of problems with that car. They give you kind of like little coded words where you don't know what they're talking about, and you find out that this car's a complete piece of junk, and you don't gave your money to them though. You don't already gave them a deposit, and so now if you decide, well, I'm not gonna get this car after you find this thing, now you're gonna have to eat your deposit. They're gonna get to keep it, and eBay won't get to keep theirs. So when you're going on eBay, just be very careful. But it can be a good experience if you do research and have someone, once again, who might know about cars. Now, with the car dealership, when you go and buy a car, it should be fun, exciting, empowering. And sometimes people walk out there frustrated, feeling ripped off, having buyer's remorse. And someone don't even know they hit them. They don't even know. By the time they walk out there, they don't know what just happened to them. They don't realize they don't just gave their car away and trade in, because this dealer don't sit there and lowball them. And they'll sit there and had all these add-ons, and they've also purchased a car probably 2 and 3 times more than what they should have paid for in interest rate, because they didn't do their homework and don't know what that dealership's sitting there looking in front of his paper, and him and his crooners who don't work on you now. So you can go in there and get, on the pro side, you can go in there and get warranties, and you can get add-ons, and you can do it for a test drive and keep it overnight and think about it and do your research and get a good deal with trade-ins. But this has to be a dealership that they're working and they're being fair to you. Because there's some dealership that they're out there to sell cars, but they're also trying to create a brand where they'll be fair to you, where you'll come back and you'll bring other people back. Then you have some of them dealerships that they're just out there to rip you off. They don't care at what cost it is, they will rip you off. They're going to sit there and have you signing paperwork that you don't know what you're doing. They're sitting there having you focusing on your monthly payments. How much can you afford a month? They are already beginning to know how much it is that they're going to try to rip you off on. Then while they're making you focus on the how much it's going to cost you a month, they're extending that. They're extending that payment for months on end and adding all these sometimes useless warranties. Don't buy warranties from most dealerships because they're no good in wiping your behind with. It's better to go outside of there and get a warranty. That way you can read up on it. Because you sit and buy this warranty from someone, most of them be limited warranty on your powertrain. And they don't tell you there's not wear and tear. There's something wrong with my starter. Well, sir, that's wear and tear. You want to have something where you know what kind of warranty you're getting. If it's a wrap warranty, if it's an extended warranty that it's covering bumper to bumper. So you want to do your homework before you purchase one with them. Another thing is, you want to make sure that when you get there, that car is a car that you've seen, not someone else. Or you get there and they say, well, that car has been sold. Or then you might walk in and you're sitting there negotiating, another guy coming in and get the keys, saying someone else want to take a look at the car. They're trying to pressure you to buy that car when they take that car, parking on the side of the building over there, while you sitting there thinking somebody else is out there looking at the car, and they're not. It's a tactic to get you to sit there and go with his price. If that's the case, if that car ain't there for you, then you get up and walk out and go get you something else. And we're gonna take a look at all these different tactics that they use, from the fresh coffee and donuts, just to get you all, ready to get ripped off. Now, I'm not saying all dealerships rip you off. I won't say that. But there are a lot of tactics and strategies that they've been taught on how to rip you off, okay? And that's what it is, because they work on commission. That goes from them having multiple people coming in and talking to you, them telling you that your credit score isn't as high as it is, them telling you that your car ain't as a high value. You want to go to NADA, you want to go to Kelley Blue Book, you want to go to MSN and find out the real value of your car, okay? Because these same people tell you, we don't go by that Blue Book value. We have a black book here. And then what they'll do, they'll sit there, turn around, and you can come back a week or two later, and they got that very car out there for the very price they told you that they wouldn't give to you for. Okay, now it's understandable that you're there to make a profit. We understand that. However, it's a difference between a profit and ill-gotten profit, where you're out to set to rip this person off and take their soul, and they walking out there with a car that is worth less than half of what they're gonna pay for after that contract is up. Buying a car is probably the worst investment that you can do, because you're already upside down the moment you purchase that car. You understand? There's very few cars now that you can buy that holds its value for years. You got a car from the 60s or something like that. Yeah, it's worth some money now. But most cars aren't worth anything. You walk out there and you drive off that lot and it's worth less than $2,000 than what you paid for the car. And you can bring that car right back and they'll slap that $2,000 that you just lost off of it, put it right back on that sticker. So this is a two-part series. On my next series, we're going to go through the different languages of what you're reading when you sit down, such as warranties and add-ons and interest rate and all these different things that a lot of people don't know. From titles to where it's flooded or salvage or rebuilt. We're going to go over all that. So that way you're armed when you walk in there. You know what you're purchasing when you're buying it from a private individual, or you're buying it from an auction house, or you're buying it from eBay. You're going to know what it is that you're going to need to have and do. So that way you walk away from the experience and not feeling like you just got robbed without a gun. They held you up and you didn't even know it. Or you get that car and you drive and realize now that you don't want this car. You're paying way more than what you wanted to pay for it. So we're going to help you where if you feel like it's a lemon law, you can go to the Federal Trade Commission or the Attorney General's office and file paperwork against this business. Or take this individual to small claim court. We're going to tell you about all these kind of different things. So that way, when you walk away, you have a good experience, or at least feel strengthened and empowered that you knew what you were doing when you walked into them. You won't get every ins and out of a car dealership. You just won't. You just won't, because there's too many of them. But at least enough when you sit down, you know you're ready to play ball with them. Now, if they're going to play ball with you, they're going to play it fair. You're not going to go into this game with one hand behind your back. We're going to have a call to action in segment 2 where individuals can help each other through forums or chats or information on websites where you can go on and get this information, or call places where they'll be more than willing to run a test on that car or run a check on that car, or have someone who you can look in the books and see, can you find somebody who'll be willing to, you're paid to come with you to a car auction and look at these cars where you can have a good deal. Because like I said, with an auction car, you don't have to worry about monthly payment. You got that car, so that way when you're pumping money into it, this car is still a car that's owned by you. Whereas with at a dealership, you're paying monthly payments, and then if you got to pay for repairs, you're still paying out the hole for them things. So you want to make sure that you go on the right avenue for which way your money is going to take you. It's what you have in your pocket, what you can afford, not what the dealership can afford. You know why you should do all this? You know why you should demand that they treat you with the respect that you deserve when you walk through that door, and not as some person they're going to backdoor? Because it's your money. People, you're going to begin to learn that it's your money and you're going to have to demand it. Stop letting these companies take advantage of you. It's time for us to stick together and force these companies to come out of the rat hole and into the light. Now I look forward to talking to you in part 2 on It's Your Money, where we can get down to the serious business of finding out how to go and purchase a vehicle right here on It's Your Money. Have a good day.